Welcome to That Digital Take. I'm your host, Torri Webster. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to That Digital Take and welcome to 2026. Guys, I'm so happy to be back. This is our first episode back for the year. Guys, I did what I do best. I took some time off in January. This episode is going to be a full recap where I've been, what I've been doing. I always say this, and you know, January is my month for mental health awareness. Am I allowed to say that? I guess. It's my mental health awareness month. It's the month where I kind of peel off. I do a lot of soul searching. I do a lot of manifestation, and I really take the time to imagine the year that I want to pursue and the year that I want to have. I think a lot of what has been happening over the last month is, I don't know why I always do this. I fall under the trends and the things that have gone on, but basically it was like, the year of the snake is ending. Now it's time for the year of the horse. So I kind of took the last 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, year of the snake is ending. Apparently Leos were having a lot of unlucky luck through the year of the snake, which I don't know if I resonate with that, but I do resonate with the fact that now the year of the horse is meant to be very lucky for the Leos and the vibes are meant to be incredible. So I am leaning into that energy. And so the last couple of weeks, I have just kind of spent the time being, really reflective and making some small adjustments in my life and lifestyle just so that I can pursue a full year of the horse ahead. So where do I begin? Well, I began the new year in Miami. I took a couple of weeks to, just spend by the ocean. I feel like spending time by the ocean is a great way to, find inner peace. So that's how I kicked off 2026. Like I said, set a lot of intentions, worked on a bunch of different ideas and just kind of strategies of how I want to change and move and how I want to move in 2026. Some of my highlights, let's chat about some of that. So I was finding a lot of white looks for the wedding. Is that relevant to people? I don't know, but it was a high takeaway from my time in Miami. I think just because it's summer weather there and they always have really chic outfits, I was like, you know what? I've decided I'm just going to build out a capsule wardrobe pretty early on. I think I have sort of ideated that I'm going to have my bachelorette this year, which will be ahead of the wedding. We're not going to get married until 2027. But I want to have my bachelorette this year. And because of that, I'm like, why don't I create my bridal wardrobe capsule collection? So I found a ton of really cute pieces in Miami and some investment pieces, some more cheap and cheerful pieces. But I'm really excited about it. I feel like now though, the wedding planning and wedding culture is becoming my personality and I want to avoid that. So I'm trying to refresh my For You page. I think right after I got engaged, everything just started to become wedding content. So I was getting served mass wedding content from wedding ideas to wedding dresses. And anyways, it was a whole thing. So I'm trying to refresh my For You page so that I'm being served things other than wedding stuff. But I digress. Miami was really fun to build out my wedding wardrobe, and I did actually try on a few wedding dresses. I went to Boca Raton Bridal, which was a really kind of high-end bridal spot in Boca, which was really, really fun. And then I also went to this place called Love Bridal in Miami, which I would also recommend if you're in that area. And then the final place that I went was a designer. I'm blanking on her name, but she was it was just her own designs. Listen, I haven't found my dress yet. I think that's going to be quite the process. And actually, just a small aside on the dress finding process, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but nothing feels special to me. I don't know if my job has kind of numbed my ability to feel like a princess, but I feel because I, in some format, play dress up all the time, whether I'm dressing up for a red carpet or I'm dressing up for a brand event or I have a brand dinner or I'm getting my hair and makeup done for a shoot, that part of it feels so embedded in who I am as a person that when I was trying on bridal gowns, I was like, another one. Nothing was making me feel any type of emotion. I just was like, what a gown. Okay, another gown. So again, this could be that whole thing around once you have the perfect one on and you feel it a certain type of way, you're going to have emotions and you're going to feel amazing. Potentially, I hope that is the case. I hope at one point I put on a dress and I just have this life-changing emotional experience. So far, and let me say, I've tried on some beautiful gowns. So far, I haven't really felt much. Are they beautiful? Yes. Works of art. But I'm not getting that this is going to be the best day of my life feeling. Again, maybe my job has set me up too well for a day like this where it's just going to almost feel a version of a Saturday where I like get ready for a red carpet, but I hope when the time comes, it starts to feel more special. So yeah, like I did mention, Year of the Horse, we are ready. And we are really just, the only quote I remember from high school Shakespeare is "Gallop apace, you fiery footed steeds." And so that's really resonating for me this year, just as a concept, for the Year of the Horse. Also, why does memory work that way, where you only remember like one small thing from an excerpt of like grade 11 drama class? The memory is a weird thing. But anyways, that is the Shakespeare I remember, and very much in alignment with our Year of the Horse. And I'm excited for all of the luck and all of the good things to come. What else did I do? I went to Vancouver. I was really excited about this. I finally got to visit Adam on set. This was the first time probably in like 5 years that I've actually been on set with Adam. This was iconic. I mean, just seeing where he's gone in his career has obviously been like so exciting as a partner and as like someone who loves him. But like on the flip side, I feel like more people should bring their fiancés to work. It was really, really nice to just like spend a day in his shoes. And it's interesting because I obviously grew up on set. I grew up as a child actor, as you guys know. So like being on set is not foreign to me. It's actually very comfortable. I love being on set, and it's just a really nice like homey feeling for me. But watching Adam kind of in this like leadership role on set and really just absolutely kill his job all day, which by the way, these hours are insane. Like I drove to set with him at 7 a.m. They wrapped at 7 p.m. and then the producers needed him to go visit the next day's location. So we drove another 45 minutes out of the way to go to the next day's location to then troubleshoot ideas for the following day's shoot day. We probably got back to the Airbnb in Vancouver at like 9:30 or 10 p.m. The hours that these people are pulling on set are absolutely obscene. And this is kind of a cut too and an aside, but like right after that, I went on a press trip and I was like, this life ain't hard. Like I'm like walking into this like mansion in Vancouver and they're like serving me champagne on a literal silver platter. And I was like, okay, like definitely understand why influencers get a bad reputation. Like when you see people like absolutely lugging it in the creative industries and the hours to create film and TV are just so strenuous. I just have so much respect for their craft and what they do. And like I said, just being able to watch someone you love live their dream is it's just a really remarkable feeling. And I highly recommend kind of like doing that Freaky Friday with your partner and just having some empathy for what they do all day. Like I obviously know to an extent what he does all day, but like just a refresher and to live in his shoes, I think gives a lot of appreciation for your partner and creates a lot of space for like, oh wow, I see how hard you're working. I see why maybe I need to pick up like 80% of the energy right now. So like you can only give 20, like, you know, that's a true partnership and just meeting people where they're at. So highly recommend. And then we kind of did a funny thing, which then the following week we had a content shoot. A brand that I'm working with has hired Adam and I to do actually kind of like a mock podcast style content, which is really quite fun. And the whole experience was that they wanted Adam on camera with me. You guys know, I mean, he's never even been on the pod with me. He's a very behind the scenes guy. Like he will do it when I force him to or when I like need him in content, but like that is not his most like comfortable place to be. So he really took a risk with me and I was so proud of him. He came on set and then of course he knew people on set that were working behind the scenes, which was pretty funny. But it was just really nice to kind of, again, do that flip-flop and then have him work in front of the camera last week with me. And like the clients were just absolutely loving it. And it was really, really nice. So again, just a solid appreciation for like meeting your partner where they're at and like introducing them into your world and vice versa, because I just feel like that's a really nice way to, you know, understand each other and get to know each other's work a little bit better. What happened after Vancouver? After I left Adam on set, I went to Whistler with Moroccanoil, as I mentioned. It was an insane press trip. We stayed in a fantastic mansion. It did beg a lot of questions. I was like, are influencer trips still going to be like this in 2026? Because holy moly, like very, very fabulous. There was a time where I kind of thought maybe brands were pivoting away from that type of press trip. And that still could be true. And maybe that was just like a lucky one-off, but we had such a great experience. It was just a really intimate group of girls. And I think I've maintained this when I've talked about brand trips and press trips on the pod, but like it really is the group that makes the experience. It's the brand team. It's the other influencers. It's obviously what's being organized for us and the activities, but we just got really lucky and our group was super down to earth and really, really fun. And yeah, it was just an all around great trip. We had some skiing in Whistler. And then if you've been to Whistler, maybe Longhorn Saloon will ring a bell to you. This is a very engaged place. It is truly wild, and it is probably some of the most famous après ski in Canada. All this to say, or needless to say, I did end up on stage that night. That was not with intention. I think just, the party really chose me that evening. And my friend and I decided it would be a good idea to just like walk on a stage and start like performing for the masses. Cut to, it didn't end well. Like they did actually kick us off the stage, but it was really funny because like we just walked up with so much purpose and we just started like dancing and performing. And I was like, Whistler, I can't hear you. Like it was crazy. And then like that night I'm like falling asleep and I'm having like flashbacks and like you have the tequila, like sobriety, like kicks in and you're like, did I do that or was that a fever dream? I did in fact do that. Times were had, vibes were had. Listen, it was iconic. And also just the fact that like the brand team like absolutely loved it. I was like, yes, Whistler, I can't hear you. It was really, really, really great. So yeah, Longhorn Saloon, shout out to you. I hope to not see you for quite a while. Treacherous drive back to Vancouver. So I literally had to then wake up at 5 a.m. like not the next morning, thank God, not after Saloon, but I had a couple days in Whistler and then I had to get up really early. It was like 4 a.m. and I had to drive back to Vancouver to then get to LA. I was heading on a press trip with Apple and it was so bad. It was like, I have like two famous bad drives in my whole life. One was driving from the Calgary airport to Banff in a snowstorm. And then I'm now saying this is taking the second top spot, which is driving from Whistler at 4 a.m. with no lights on the highway in a rainstorm back to the Vancouver airport. It was so bad. It was so foggy. There was no lights. It was so dark. It was just a terrible, terrible drive. And so I was like holding on for dear life and actually had podcasts on. So like shout out to podcasts for really, really getting me through that dark time. And somehow made it safely back to the airport and I headed to LA. This was for something really exciting. This was for the Apple TV Press Day 2026. Very fresh, very new for them. This is all the content coming to the Apple TV platform this year. Really cool to brush shoulders with like a whole bunch of stars. They had all of the top stars from every single show there. And then kind of just a way for like all of the press and influencers to kind of shortlist all the cool stuff coming to the platform, package it for the media and promote it on social media. So just a really fun, cool way to like be involved in like boots on the ground with like that level of like stardom in LA. And I mean, you guys know this because I've been on a lot of Apple press trips and I've talked about them, but like nobody does it like Apple. Like it's so organized. It's so well done. It's so well produced. Like they just are working at such a high level. So being able to be a part of those like really sparkly like LA press days is just like such a dream to me. And very similar, I guess, to last year's Netflix To Doom event. That's very much like what it felt like, but less fan led, very much just for the press. So like our room was very, like organized almost like desks and like, they would come up on stage and we would have our little notepads. I felt like a journalist. I was like, wow, this is like maybe what all the journalists typically feel like. So just a really fun way to like see the industry from a different perspective. And, we've got the upfronts and things like that, but typically influencers are not included in those media events. So I just think again, like to everything we talk about on this podcast, like so interesting and exciting that like influencers and creators are being welcomed into these very traditional rooms, these very traditional press rooms. And these companies, these big companies see our value and they know that our storytelling online makes a big difference. And so, yeah, just being able to kick off the year with an event like that, super, super rewarding and very, very fun. Let's talk a little bit about the pod this year, guys. So heading into 2026, the vibe is giving more guests. Now, I hope that you love these solo episodes because I really like making them and I just feel like it's a way for us to catch up and they're very informal and I think you get to really get my personality and we get closer doing these things. But I really, really loved last year building out the guest portfolio. We were lucky enough to interview some really fabulous guests last year. And so I want to lean more into that this year. So just to give you guys like an insight into where I hope the show heads this year, more celebrity and culture forward interviews, more creator economy conversations, more Toronto and Canada centric stories, which by the way, I'm like so Canadiana right now. I'm obsessed with the Canadians at the Olympics. I want to bring back my mitts from 2008 and just sing Nikki Yanovsky, I believe in the power that comes. Like I'm in like full resurgence of Olympic energy. Anyways, all that to say, again, an aside, but we will be leaning into some Canadian stories and then some exciting partnerships and growth happening behind the scenes that like I can't wait to share. there. And so, yeah, more than ever, I guess I will just shout out, if you do want to share this pod or this episode with a friend, you know what to do. I would love that. It means the world to me. And just to kick off the year, I wanted to give you guys that little update of where we are heading. Okay, so topic of the week, let's lighten it up. Like I said, we're just easing back into the pod this year. I love a fresh start, so I figured we would focus on some January favorites. January and Feb favorites, now we're in Feb, but I want to chat about some of my new obsessions and some faves that I've been having entering into 2026. Okay, let's kick it off. The new Moroccanoil lip balms. Now, I will say, I'm not just saying this because I just spent 4 days in Whistler on an all paid for brand trip by this brand. But no, I'm honestly not. But we were actually there to celebrate the new lip balm. So like, obviously you guys probably know Moroccanoil is more of a hair care brand, which like that's what they're famous for. Their Moroccanoil oil is obviously like their most beloved product, but their SKUs have like really gone all over the place now in an exciting way. Like they have a perfume, they have a whole bunch of different styling sprays, they have body care, they have hand wash, if you didn't know. Anyway, so I think part of the exciting parts of brand trips is that we get like really exposed, I guess is the word, to like so many different SKUs and products that they have in their arsenal. And the lip balms are the latest thing to be added to their SKUs. Now, these are incredible. They come in 3 different shades and I'm just obsessed with them. I was like using it today before the pod. I love the mint flavor. There's like a cherry flavor that's like more red and it's really, really beautiful. So yeah, highly recommend checking them out. They're just not sticky at all. And they just have a really beautiful sheen and they're genuinely hydrating in the sense that sometimes I use lip balms and then I get like a weird like texture on my lips. And also I feel like sometimes you get like weird buildup where it's like colored and it's like gross, or it's just too sticky. Like listen, hard to find a great balm, especially in the Canadian winter. Every time I like return from a flight and I re-enter -30 weather, I'm reminded that I need a lip balm. So if you are in the market, I feel like it's a really affordable price point and just a nice way in with a brand with products that I already love. So highly recommend checking it out. Okay, next, bandwagon / late to the game. Heated rivalry. I just started this. Now, this episode is very timely because it's coming out literally on Monday. You're going to be listening to this. So, yeah, I've just started this week and I know I'm behind the 8 ball because everyone was binging it like post Christmas time. But guys, beautiful content. I mean, a few thoughts on heated rivalry. One, I know for a fact they made this for very little money. I was talking to Adam and like he's got a lot of friends that worked on the production side of this show. They made basically 6 episodes, which is like a 6-hour long like imagine a movie being 6 hours long, and they made it for only like a couple $1 million. Like as far as TV shows go and as far as like quality goes, that is not a lot of money. And it just looks really good. So shout out to them. Shout out to the production team because it's just a really, really beautiful show. But then tied into that is like these 2 lead actors that are fabulous storytellers and just a story that I think I can't believe hasn't been told before, which is 2 gay guys in love in the hockey world. It's like, how has this actually never happened? I think I'm obsessed with the idea that like we're moving into a culture that is like just so ready for anything that media is willing to throw at them. It's like, we're all woke here. Let's engage with this. Like, and I just love that like the mainstream picked it up and they were like obsessed. Like these actors deserve all of their flowers for this. I just think that they're incredible in the show. And I haven't finished it yet, but I would say I'm at least 50% of the way there and I'm sold. Like I'm bought in. I just think the story is so well written. It feels so real. And yeah, I highly recommend if you haven't checked it out. I'm sure you've heard a million people talk about it, but it had to go on my list of favorites for kicking off 2026. Okay, the next thing, the 5-minute journal. Now, I don't think I've necessarily chatted about the 5-minute journal before on the podcast, but I've been traveling with it. And obviously I start off every year being like, I'm trying to take it slow. And then I'm in like 6 different places all at once. So it's something that I've found has like really grounded me over the last 6 weeks. It's something that I like to like introduce into my morning routine. I think it's a really nice way to just write all of your things that you're grateful for and just be really present to kick off your day. And I also think it's a really nice way to manifest because like one of the final prompts is what would make today great. And I think just being like, wow, like what are some things that I would like to share into the universe today that would make today feel amazing? I think that's just like a really nice way to start your day. So if you are someone that's looking to journal, but you prefer prompts, which that's more my brain, like, yes, I know people free write and like, I don't know. I like the concept of that, but I think just like from a time perspective, it literally is called the 5-minute journal. It only takes 5 minutes or less. And genuinely, sometimes that's all I have before I run out the door. Like when I was in LA, it was like my mornings were so crazy, but I did try to take my like 5 minutes to just like get some ideas down and like really like make myself present for like the days that I was about to embark on. So I do recommend, if you are looking for something to add to your routine for 2026, I've really been loving it as a grounding practice. Okay, next favorite, San Marco. We're going here for my best friend's birthday this Friday, which is why it made my list, because the last time I went here was actually Adam and my anniversary right before we got engaged. So I've only been here once. And I will preface this by saying they have like a $70 or $80 pasta on the menu. Not reasonable, I might add. However, very, very good. It's like basically all yolks. It's like 100 yolks. I know this probably sounds disgusting. Also probably bad for your cholesterol. This is actually not a great pitch for them. But basically it's like a fettuccine made with only egg yolks, and it's like 100 yolks. So, and it's like $100, but so it's like $1 a yolk. This is really bad promotion for San Marco. But anyways, all this to say, it's a really, really stunning steakhouse. We are going to go here on Friday for my bestie's birthday. And it did make my faves list if you have a really nice celebration coming up. I know this is coming out right after Valentine's Day, so you won't necessarily be looking for Valentine's Day, but like if you have a birthday coming up or you have like a big work event that you want to celebrate, I highly recommend checking out San Marco in Toronto. The steak is amazing. This crazy pasta is worth a try because sometimes like TikTok doesn't lie. And when it's trending, there's good reason for it. Yes, and you can split it. So maybe that's only actually a $50 pasta. There you go. All right. So the next thing I've been loving is CapCut Desktop. We did a little workshop on this last year when I was introducing you guys to editing, but I've been playing with it even more over the last couple of weeks and just like trying out different editing styles. And I have to say, I think it's really taken the top spot over Final Cut Pro. And here's why. I'm obsessed with the fact that like all of the captions are integrated into the platform. I think that all of their sound effects are amazing and integrated into the platform. And then I also love that I'm feeling like I get really creative when I'm in that platform because integrating new ways of editing are so easy. So hopefully, like if you are someone that I know we chatted a lot about editing at the end of last year, but if you are really keen on becoming a creator this year, like it's never been a better time to start. I feel like all of the platforms are making it easier and more accessible for new people to grasp these like really kind of viral editing styles. So highly recommend checking out CapCut Desktop. It's funny, I was even showing some clients this the other day and they're like, wow, we need to start using that. Like we can simplify our editing workflow just by taking these simple steps. So highly recommend. More block shooting. All right. I mean, I'm going to attempt this with the podcast. Hopefully speeding up my content turnaround. Like I just want things to feel really timely for you guys this year. And this has always been my like intention, but you guys know it's always difficult with how crazy and busy things get. But I just think this year is going to be really special and I want you guys here for all of it. So if I keep things really timely, it's a way for us to just feel really connected. So even with my guests, like I just want them to, I just want my guests to feel like all the content that's rolling out the week that we're recording is then going live the following week. We're getting all the cut downs live. My goal is just, block shooting and keeping things as timely as possible. So I love keeping you guys up to speed on my overarching goals for the podcast because I think that's how we can speak them into existence. And I'm just so excited for everything that is in store for this year. Like I said, wanted to kick off this year with just something really quite casual, just a really nice catch up with you guys. So I hope that is what this felt like today. And like I said, there probably will be less solo pods coming to you this year because we will be focusing on all of our guests. So if you do have any epic guests that you recommend or want me to interview, please DM me, send me a DM, let me know. I'm always open to recommendations. And I just feel like there's so much good talent that we can be chatting with this year to bring the next era of the pod to life. And yes, this is the pod entering a new era and so am I. So let's keep the magic going into 2026. Make sure you've subscribed to our YouTube channel this year. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And please send an episode to a friend because I am not embarrassed to self-promote this year. We've got no fear. We've only got up. We've only got up and we've only got wins coming our way. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Mean it. See you next week. Next week, actually, I can give you a preview. We've got an amazing guest coming on, Jay McCauley, and we chat like different things. We chat about politics. We chat about kind of philanthropy and like a bunch of different topics that we've never really covered on the pod. So super excited about that episode. I will see you next week. Love you. Mean it. Bye.